Spring. With me now is Peter Pitts. He is the president of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest and a former associate commissioner with the Food and Drug Administration. Pitts is also an adjunct scholar at the Washington Policy Center, a conservative think tank. Mr. Pitts, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
First, in your opinion, is the pandemic over, and are those even the right words to be using?
I think the pandemic is easing its way into becoming an endemic, just like the annual flu is an endemic. I think for practical matters, what that means is that the virus is going to be around for a long time, the COVID-19 virus. We have to live with it. We are in control now. The virus is not. The overwhelming number of Americans who get COVID-19 will have it for a few days, and it'll be a light case because they're vaccinated. And we're protecting older people and people with pre-existing conditions from the more serious manifestations of the virus, especially death. And a good way to measure that is low infection rates and low hospitalization rates, which is why the CDC is allowing most Americans to take off their masks.
You've said the pandemic changes when we're in control, and you just said we're in control. So what does that mean?
When I say we're in control, what I mean is that we have the means at our disposal to make sure that COVID-19 is not a deadly situation, that we can manage it, that if people do get infected, they will suffer non-severe symptoms, that it will not adversely impact people with pre-existing conditions or older Americans. And again, that's all predicated on making sure that people keep their eye on the prize, which is getting vaccinated.
We're 2 years in. Did it take too long for us to get here? Did we not? I mean, what happened over the last 2 years?
What happened over the last 2 years that allowed us to get through this pandemic quicker than we might have otherwise is all the players of the healthcare ecosystem, government, academia, drug manufacturers, public health officials, and us, average citizens. We all worked together to solve the problem. We had multiple vaccines come to market with extreme speed and safety. Similarly, therapeutics and diagnostics all came together very quickly with a high degree of success and really solid regulatory science. And that would have been impossible had we not all played well together. And these are lessons, I think, that can be learned and applied to things other than COVID-19 as we try to advance American healthcare forward in the 21st century.
It's interesting that you said that we played well together and you pointed to the science. But was there a couple of bumps in the road when not everybody was playing well together and looking at the science?
Well, there were quite a few bumps in the road, and there are bumps in the road ahead of us, I suspect. I think one of the lessons is it's important to question what we're told, but at the end of the day, we have to agree on what the science says. And I think we've made I think we have made tremendous steps forward in trusting the science. You know, where we are right now is we have to recognize that if you say science is back, and you recognize that as a good thing, as I do, you have to recognize that you have to follow the science, even when it says things that you don't believe or make you uncomfortable. Taking off your mask, for example. A lot of Americans don't want to take their masks off, even though the science now says clearly most Americans can. We've got to all trust in the science and move forward together. So I think that, you know, now that the pandemic is becoming an endemic, we have all these tools at our disposal. It's an opportunity for us to put a lot of these political divisions aside and move forward as a society based on what the science is telling us.
And what is the science telling us right now about a possible fourth vaccine? Is this something that we'll all need?
Clearly, you know, if you're triple vaccinated now and you're not in a high-risk area, you're very well protected. And even if you do get infected, you'll have a light case. Again, this is probably a more important proposition relative to people at greater risk, people who are older, people with pre-existing conditions. But again, this is all predicated on what the data actually has to say. And it's important to be ahead of the curve, but it's important not to be ahead of the science.
We've learned a lot about the vaccines, as you've said, over the last, since they were developed. Many Americans have had at least one dose. But travel's sort of building back, and it's spring break time. Everybody has been cooped up, a lot of students and families traveling. What do we know about vaccines in other countries and their effectiveness? And are we at risk now of bringing the virus back again in some kind of other version?
If you've gotten one vaccine for the 2-dose mRNA vaccines, it's really important that you get the second one. And if you're fully vaccinated, it's important that you get the booster shot. It's really important, and I can't stress that enough. Now, the bad news is that vaccines that are being used in other countries that are not approved for use in the U.S. have been shown to be less effective. So that's certainly going to impact other countries' ability to get through this pandemic, and it also should advise our policymakers relative to how many people from certain countries we want to enter into our countries and what the protocols need to be.
I want to get back to the possibility of another booster shot. Some scientists think that we'll need a COVID shot every year like we take our flu shots. What are your thoughts about that?
I believe that we probably will need a booster shot every year, just as we need a shot every year for the annual flu. Now, the good news is that a lot of companies are developing a dual vaccine that will handle both the annual flu and the current COVID variant. So that's one shot a year, no different than it is now relative to getting the flu. And it's a teaching moment, I think, relative to the value of getting a flu shot. You know, we talk a lot about COVID-19 vaccinations, but getting your flu shot is crucially important. And I think that if we can have one shot for both, that would be a terrific advance in the American public health.
What happens if the numbers begin to climb again? Then do we go back to masking and closures, or do we go in a new direction based on all the information that we continue to learn about this?
Well, we have to follow the science. And if we don't allow people to take their masks off now, which is what the science is saying, it's going to be impossible for us to get people to put their masks back on, heaven forbid, if that should become necessary at some future date. But I think the point is that between now and a future date, many more millions of Americans will be vaccinated. The situation will be different. We've got to keep our eye on the prize, which is protecting Americans, but doing it smartly and doing it honestly.
Yeah. Mr. Pitts, Peter Pitts with the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest. Thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.